Good evening and welcome to
Off the Plasterer
with me, Eric the Plasterer. Yes, I'm late. Yes, I'm tired. Dear. I've had a busy day, boys and girls. Not at work. I've taken my granddaughter to the to Bockett's farm today, and we had a fantastic time. We're talking like a bit of horse riding, which is only 4, bless her. Going on the back of a tractor around a big field up around the farm, and feeding animals and all sorts of stuff. And that's up over in Leatherhead, which isn't a million miles away from me, but it's not around the corner. And I am tired. I'm knackered. I've been going to bed early, and I thought it was helping, but I think what I'm finding is I'm just getting tired earlier in the evening because I've been going to bed about 10 after 10 instead of my usual midnight to 1 slot. And I'm Eric the Plasterer. For anybody that doesn't know, I've been a plasterer in South London for the last 37 years, and Ask the Plasterer is here to answer any of your plastering related questions. Well, this evening, I don't know how busy or quiet we're going to be, because I've got nothing particular planned. If I'm honest, this last fortnight shot by, and I thought, oh God, is it Ask the Plasterer already? So thanks for the reminders from the regular guys that said, oh, is it Ask the Plasterer tonight? Otherwise, I might have completely forgot. But I'm here for you. Right, let's move over to the pub garden. Why not? At least you could hear me this evening, which last week was a bit it was not last week, the week before last, it was a little bit twiddly diddly, wasn't it? Evening Zoltar, Plaster 8, Danny boy, yeah, lovely. Tara, hi darling. I always forgot there. Jamie, good old Jamie, he never misses a show, regardless. It might be because of my age as well, Tari, yeah, because my 60th birthday's coming up, boys and girls, 26th of September. Okay, just email me, you know, because what'd you buy in a man that's got everything that he can afford? But yeah, I'll be happy with it. Oh, happy birthday, hell yeah, happy birthday, happy big 6-0. Oh man, I was only 30 a few years ago, and then suddenly I'm 60. I'm just letting you, the slightly younger people out there know that, from like when you're like a teenager to 30, absolutely takes forever, miles away. You don't even think about it, and then when you're 30, you think, oh god, I'm 30. Which I think I did the same, and then suddenly you go, oh, you're nearly 60. You go, sorry, you talking to me? What happened there? But yeah, sorry guys, I'm meant to be trying to cheer everybody up if you've had a tough day. Oh dear, I hope everybody's been keeping nice and busy at work. If I'm honest, my work's been right chippy choppy. I'm getting on days off. Oh, it's got a job. Day off, got a job, which is okay because as you're getting older, it makes life a bit easier for you. But it's not great for the bank account, I have to admit. Older, I don't like going into the overdraft facility if I don't have to. Oh dear. Right. Yeah, this evening I'm just, as I say, I'm a bit knackered. Fairly chilled. If you want to ring, you can ring. If you don't want to ring, that's absolutely fine as well. If you're out there and you are new, and you can be a fully fledged tradesman, you can be a DIYer, you can be someone that's not been plastering for that long, or you could be a customer, potential customer that's interested in knowing something. If you want to know about tools, if you want to know about or chat about anything at all. In fact, tonight I'm hoping to talk about anything. Just to keep me going, keep me awake at this end. But I'm sure I'll perk up once I've got going. Jacko board. Oh yes, mate. I think I have skimmed it before because I think that was a question you was asking before, Zoltar. And yeah, as far as I can recall, it wasn't a problem because I'm pretty sure it was my log burner downstairs in the lounge, and didn't know if it was hold up or if it would crack, but it's been absolutely fine. But I might still be a bit nervous if I'm doing it for a customer. But yeah. Right, have I forgotten to do anything? Sounds all working. I can see people chatting. That's good. Oh, that was it. Yeah, Johnny asked earlier. Updates on Louis. I did not very recently, but shortly after the last Ask the Plasterer, I did get a bit of an update from Alex, where things are a bit. The ops all gone well, which is great. Obviously, in that kind of situation, I think Louis is sometimes quite up and then down, but I think it's that roller coaster at the minute of you know, it's early days. It's been a massive thing that's kind of really come out of the blue of this particular thing anyway, and yeah, but he's starting that old long road to recovery, and let's face it, it's not an easy one. I've not had a more recent update, but these things do take time. It's not kind of like, oh yeah, it's been a couple of weeks now, so he's absolutely fine. Because obviously there's a lot to take in, and again, I'm assuming at this point he'll probably have to have chemo and what have you, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But he's hoping, Louis, if you're out there, mate, if you're listening at all, hope you're feeling a bit better, mate, after the ops out the way, and just hang on in there, mate, and we're all rooting for you. Right. Go away, upgrade now. Upgrade now, very much. I've just clicked on something which I hope hasn't. Go away. Hopefully you can't see it. I've got something on my screen asking me to upgrade this lovely bit of software, but I don't need to. Because trying to broadcast this to 2 channels is more than enough for me. Michael, evening mate, nice to see ya. And you, Zoltar, and Mark, and Tara, and Jamie, and Johnny. Yeah, right, okay, cool. As I said, I'm fairly chilled out this morning. I haven't planned anything specific. I've got me Coca-Cola. Because if I did drink a beer, then I'd probably just nod off. While you're sitting there watching. Oh dear. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, if I had oh, Tara, sorry. Yeah. What do you think about rolling plaster on? Have you ever tried it? Someone, I don't think it was you, Tara. Someone mentioned on Trow Talk in the week. You know, have we tried, like? Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't you. Rolling plaster onto the wall, finish, and then troweling it. But I just don't think it would work. Or not with gypsum plaster anyway. It needs to be a certain thickness to be able to get it on the wall, and I think if it's too thick, I don't think a roller would work at all. But I've never tried, if I'm honest. And if it's a bit too thin, then it's just not gonna cover what it needs to. Let's say there are different types of plaster. I know one of the guys who lives over in Russia. The system they use is more of it's like the stuff you put on after dry lining, where you can put that on with a roller. I think it's a white in colour, and that you do then use speed skims over to sort it out. Danny, Blaine Gray done a video on it the other day, rolling plaster on. Haven't watched it yet though. Okay, mate. So we're none the wiser. I'll have to have a look at that. It hasn't pinged up on my feed, but then I haven't looked at the feed today, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, there are types of plaster you can get that go on with a roller, but I think your board work has got to be pretty spot on. A bit like with the spray plastering, the prep work prior to that has got to be pretty pucker. on account of the fact that the spray plaster is going on fairly thin at the end of the day, which I think is the only other thing apart from being old and can't be bothered that put me off trying it. Oh, and the 8 or 10 grand cost for a good machine. Oh dear. But yeah. Okay, oh, Alex, evening, mate. Yeah, I was just saying to the guys the last update you gave to me regarding Louis. I wondered how he was, if we're kind of still in the same place, mate, or whether I don't know if he's got to have any chemo after the op, or whether that's not required or not. But yeah, if you're in a position to let us know, mate, that'd be great. But if not, don't worry. Tara, I've watched it, was thinking about it last week. Strangely, I think the thickness would be an issue. That's Blaine's one. I think you're talking about, Tara, is it? His video. Is he rolling on a specific kind of plaster, or he's not rolling on like multi-finish or anything like that, is he? Or is he? Sorry guys, I'm waiting on you a bit this evening because I'm too tired to be full of all my usual chippy chappy banter. So I don't know why I use that word. I hate the word banter. Pretty up and down, to be honest, hence the slow reply on the update. No, fair enough, mate, I understand. Waiting for him to stabilise before giving up. Yeah, okay, mate. No, absolutely understandable. I was saying earlier, it's not like a 5-minute job, you know. Oh, you had the op, and a week or two later, you're on the mend or you're feeling fine. It's a lot to process, I think, especially for Louis, and one for you as well, I suppose, mate. And yeah, we just got to bide our time and just hope that everything progresses in a forward fashion, mate. In a forward fashion. He rolled multi. This is Blaine, but did 3 coats. It looked good, but patchy going on, as you'd imagine. So is he rolling it on, Tara, and then troweling it with a trowel, or is he running some kind of spatula over it, like a speed skim or something? Or he's not just rolling it on and just leaving it, is he? I wouldn't have thought so. Again, I've no idea what that would look like. I'm intrigued to watch his video now. Okay, so Blaine rolled on 3 coats of multi. Speed skimmed each coat. Lovely jubbly. Well, I'll have a look at that, because just can't imagine getting enough on the wall. But obviously if he's done it, then yeah, I want to see what that looks like. My assumption that it would be quicker than spreading it on Vulcan trowel, but yeah, I'll have a look at that later. And I'll put my views up on the forum or and on Trowel Talk as well. Notice I used my I was going to put the video up but I haven't had time. Hang on, speed skimmed, and then usual was just a test, but decent finish, to be honest. Oh, it might. I mean, you might have something there if it works. And Emma's Blaine's, no offence. Yeah. Emma's Blaine's. No. Sorry, Alex, I've lost you there, mate, on that one. What's the same as Blaine's? Yeah, would you try rolling it on, Alex? There's something, as I say, that had been mentioned. I don't know if it's Blaine doing that video that brought it up, but I just thought where the gear's not made for rolling on, then it wouldn't work. Oh, right, no. Amongst yourselves while I'm looking up and down the list of questions. Danny, Plasterer, I think I'll stick to my Hawken trowel if I'm honest. Not that I've used it lately. Been flat out on timber work. Used sand and cement today. Oh, used sand and cement today. Oh, mucking in on verges on roof tiles. But at least you're getting your hand in all sorts of things, Danny, aren't you? At the end of the day. Dan, evening, mate. Yeah, sorry, Dan. I was going to mention you because when I put my video up about using that. Me new ox trowel that's 18 by 5, and like someone mentioned after Dan mentioned on the comments that why some of the trowels like that long but thinner, and Dan explained that with that kind of width of 5 inches on the trowel, if you're going to be using it on a fairly regular basis and and troweling up with it and all the rest of it and going through all of it with that, it is going to cause you more stress and strain on your joints, basically. That's my just layman's of repeating, not word for word, but basically what Dan was saying, and completely understand what he meant now, and that does make sense for them still making 18-inch trowels that are narrower than that, because that little bit of extra width is going to put a fair bit more pressure on you. I mean, it's the first time I've used one, so obviously at that stage I'm not going to notice that it's any different at the end of the day, but yeah, I might try using it more often. I'm probably not going to use it for floating stuff out like that, because again that would be a right old bit of weight that you're trying to push around with bonding or hardball on a trowel that big. But and as I say, it needs wearing in a bit more. But yeah, no, good. So yeah, evening Dan. Thanks for that, mate. Appreciated it. Jason, yeah, hi spreads. Hope you're all keeping well. Yeah, I think everyone seems to be fairly pucker. I'm just tired. So my presentation this evening might just be a little bit lackluster on account of that. But I thought I can't let the boys and girls down by going, you know what, I'm going to cancel tonight. Let's leave it for a few months until people go, oh, I'd really like to see After Plasterer again this evening. It's been a while. But if that sounds a good idea, let me know. Oh dear. I would like to wash out the roller after. Yeah, no, you're not wrong, Danny. Yeah, washing out the roller from it's bad enough washing them out with just paint and stuff on them, or PVA, let alone multi-finish. But I will. Yeah, I'm so intrigued to watch that video now. But I'm not going to watch it tonight because I've got to be in bed by 10, 10:30, people. This has been wearing my fitness ring. Oh dear. Anything I've noticed about it, it doesn't keep me awake, but when you're nice and still and you're kind of asleep, like if I wake up and open my eyes and I look at it, the inside of my fingers glowing red or green, but mostly red. But I think that's not a bad thing, it's just measuring all sorts of whatever it measures. But even if the ring's rubbish at the end of the day, the fact it's made me start going to bed early, and I think I'm feeling a lot better for it. But today, yeah, I mean, I've had a busy day out with, as I say, with my granddaughter and the missus. But yeah, I just feel really tired. Yeah, Danny, if you're doing something different for a change, mate, it does make a nice change. If you're spreading 24/7 on the old, skimming, floating, going as Jamie knows, going over Artex ceilings on a regular basis, it gets a bit same old, but if you can pull off something like that to do a little bit of chippy work, do a bit of frame building, or a bit of roofing, mate, if that's what you're dabbling in, then yeah, why not? And then it makes a nice break in the, not monotony, because that's the wrong word for the art of plastering, but of doing the same thing constantly without doing something a little bit different. And then it's even more enjoyable to go back to your floating and your setting when you've been doing something slightly different in one of the other trades for a while. So that's all good. Cheers. I'm assuming you've got a drink of some sort with you, people, and yeah, should we move into the pub? Remind me, that's another thing. I keep getting copyright claims on drink sing song in the background in the pub. It doesn't come, I don't think it comes on to a bit later on, but the company that own it, even though it's about 50 years old, go, oh yep, that's ours, that's our song. We've got, you know, if your video's any good, we're going to monetize it because you can't, because you've used. I don't quite understand that. You can do a whole video with all sorts on it, and if you do use a bit of copyright music, even though it's not like it's actually a hit from the top 10, then you can't monetize it. Not that I'm going to make any money out of these ones. 50p every couple of months maybe, and but they can monetize your video because it's got one of their songs in it. Even if it's only in there for 5 minutes. You can cut the song out if you want, but currently I can't be bothered. But I might doctor that so that particular tune doesn't keep getting played and they keep copyright striking me. Well, it's not a strike. It doesn't affect my channel. Doesn't stop the video from going out. It doesn't mute the song for what it's worth. But yeah. If this starts getting like hundreds of thousands of views, then we'll go in and we'll cut out the drink song, even though it does affect the banter in between. Danny, yeah, definitely got shitloads of plastering to do after Sparks and Plumbers have been. So plus got to render halfway for building 2 as top half being cladded. Loads of work, mate. It's good to be busy, mate, and the outside work, like currently, let's face it, the summer's been bloody fantastic weather-wise. It's been a nice long summer of the kind of weather where you can have a barbecue if you want one. Basically the rain stayed off. I mean, even today the forecast was rain, so I thought not the greatest day to take your granddaughter to the farm. but that was lovely, nice and warm. The rain drizzled a teensy weensy bit here and there, but other than that was it. But now it's good to keep busy, mate. It's good to keep busy. You've got to keep yourself active. As my 92-year-old father-in-law says next door, who is, we're very blessed and pleased to say he is as fit as a butcher's dog. Martin, evening, mate. I've got to remove half a ceiling in a flood-damaged flat. Do you or anyone on here know what the fire eggs are, i.e. pink plasterboard, etc.? Thanks. Some of the guys may know. Normally I only go to fire eggs if I'm replacing something completely brand new, especially if it's called for in any kind of plans that have been put forward. When I'm putting stuff back in, I'm not saying this is great practice, but if I'm just reinstating something, especially only half of the ceiling, then I'll just put back, well, not love and plaster, but I'll just put back the minimum 9.5 board, or unless it needs to be thicker than that, then I'll just bond it out to whatever thickness I need. But if one of the guys knows, Martin, they'll probably type it up. So hang on in there, mate. Oh, I've got a skip on the drive at the minute as well, and I've just thrown away because he's been taking up a corner of my garage, which has got full of stuff anyway, of flipping. My brain's even blocked out what the stuff's called. make good. They make good plaster. Rock hard. It like like about 4 or 5 bags of solid lump, which has taken up a fair old lump of space in the skip, but I can't keep it in the garage. It's just such a waste of space, and bought it, never used it, and let's face it, it's rubbish. Oh, and a couple of bags of bonding that have gone rock hard, and a couple of bags of thistleball finish that have also gone rock hard. I've got a shot of that now. I'm just going to buy fresh. I'm not storing any in the garage. Hopefully there's not going to be any issues with plaster supply, other than the fact it's getting so expensive. £9.50 for a bag of finish. And but just say, yeah, you've got to make sure you reflect this in your prices, people, when you're pricing up for stuff. It's just so easy to go, oh yeah, a few bags of finish, blah blah blah, £5 for a bag, sort of in your head. Well, that's the mistake I've been making recently. And then thinking, oh well, hang on a minute, this material's costing me an arm and a leg. It's coming out my profit margin. Yes, mate. Wednesday I am doing. I think I put a little post up there. I've got a cupboard, stairs and cupboard. It's like a full stairs and landing, except when you walk in the front door, it's basically a square, and that's the downstairs hall, and then you've got the staircase, so a solid wall both sides, no banisters or anything, and at the top also is just like a little kind of small cupboard. I call it a cupboard. It's the top of the stairs. You turn right, and then basically you've got more or less 2 doors right in front of you. So it's mostly the stairwell walls, but when you're working in a space like that, there's not really anywhere to put your bucket, let alone a spot board and stand. And I'm doing that on Wednesday. But again, the nice thing is it's just literally around the corner from me. I do like local jobs. But I'm cracking on with that Wednesday, and I'll let you know how that goes. I was going to say something else about that as well. It'll come back to me in a minute. But yeah, oh, that was it. My motor. I've noticed if I leave it for a couple of days and I jump in it to shoot off somewhere or to a job, that the battery won't turn over the motor, not to start it. So yeah, if I do jump start it, it's fine for 2 or 3 days, and then if I leave it. So I need to go out and buy a new battery for the old 4-wheel drive jobby, so I can get in it with confidence, especially with the winter coming. Because if it's like that now in warm weather, then as soon as that really cold weather starts to bite, it's not going to start in the morning, and that's one kind of hassle you don't need when you're up early and it's dark out and it's freezing cold and you've got to get to a job and it goes whoa, 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 instead of a brum. So I'm going to get a new battery. And also another thing, if you're buying anything like that, is the missus found I bought a battery for the car, and I saw one online. It was about 90 quid, and the missus rang up this company or texted them, and they said if you order it online and then come and pick it up, it will cost you basically half the price. If you buy it online now and just you want it kind of sent to you, it's going to be the full price. If you just come down here without ordering it online first, it's going to cost you the full price. Don't ask me why. So if you go online to that particular company anyway and you order it, and yeah, I think we paid for it up front as well, and then go and pick it up, it's half the price as it would be as if I went there and said, can I have that battery? And I'll go, yeah, there you go mate, 90 quid instead of 40 or 45 or whatever, which is crazy. So anyway, long story short, I'm going to go there for my for my battery for the work motor. I'm going to order it and pay for it first online and then go and pick it up. Crazy world we live in. Danny, you still using the big Ox Beast trowel, mate? Can't wait to start using mine when I finally get around to. Yes, well, yes, mate. It's nice, and so far I'm not having any problems with it, because apart from the fact it needs wearing in, which without actually getting some wet and dry paper on there and sanding it, because I don't really do sand and cement work, I thought what I might do is send it over to Mark Neeson over in Ireland, or one of the guys, or they can give it to Colby for a little while, get a nice wear on it, and they do so much sand and cement work, I reckon it'll be worn in within a space of a week, if that. not even that, and then send it back to me. Other than that, yeah, it's fine for laying on. It's fine for maybe doing well, obviously your first couple of trowels, but when it comes to the wet trowel, even though it's a worn-in, or it's pre-warm, you buy it pre-warm, it's it judders and squeaks if you try and do a wet trowel with it. So at the moment for me, it's not sharp enough for that. So after that, then yep, I'm just onto the speed skims, and then my old trusty flexible ultra flex. But yeah, the size of it, mate, is great. But as Dan has said in one of the comments, it is if you're pushing stuff on with that on a regular basis, you are going to get probably like wrist ache and all sorts of stuff, which up to this point I don't suffer with. But then that's probably because I've been using a 14-inch Marshalltown for the last 30 odd years and not anything bigger. But at the moment it's absolutely fine. But again, I'm only using it for laying on, and I'll see how it goes. If I start to get any issues with my wrists, on my forearms, on my shoulder, on my elbow, then I'll probably yeah, just revert back to my Marshalltown. Or when I do buy a newer trowel, I'll make sure it's not an 18-inch one. But yeah, but get on it, mate, and yeah, let us know what you think of it. Actually, mate, do a little video. That would be good. Cheers, Mark. You know what, I might seriously consider that, because you will wear it in a lot quicker than I will, as long as you send it back. Because you might go, oh yes, it's lovely, especially now we've worn it in. Same, I don't know if we discussed it on here, mate, but I think I did say about that fitness ring that over in Northern Ireland, still part of the European Union. It wouldn't have cost me an extra 60 quid import tax to get it into over here. So yeah, Mark said I could have kindly ordered it and had it sent to his address, and he could have just posted it to me, and he would have saved me 60 quid. But I will remember that in future for maybe any other bits and pieces, as long as I don't get the old border police on me. Dear. Right. Mate, he is a gentleman. He is a gentleman. He's a top man. He's old Mark and the gang. A nicer bloke you will not meet. Well, I mean, there's a few of them out there, like old Anthony Parry. He's a top bloke as well. Another really nice geezer. I missed anything while I was gambling. Which one was that, Richard? Sorry, mate, you put on there about the Artex ceiling job in a week. Yeah, as far as I can remember, it went well. Because if it hadn't have done, I would definitely remember. I think sometimes with Artex ceiling mates, I kind of go in there and just do them with my eyes shut. Because oh god. And a lot of the guys know what that feels like. Oh, it's another Artex ceiling. But of course it looks lovely when you come out. Some guys won't like bond and skim them or whatever. They will only bald them just in case. But I've bonded and set so many as opposed to balding them. As I only bald them if they've really had it, or they're wavy as anything, or the spikes are just too big, and I don't want to be chipping them off anymore. It's not good for your health, even if there isn't any asbestos in them. What's that, Jamie? Done it before you into this fireball? Sometimes, Jamie, when you and Mark, as I have put on the forum, are chatting together, whether it's music orientated, not always the football things I understand, but if it's music or any other comments, sometimes one of you makes and I think, what the hell are they talking about? I don't understand, and I'm pretty sure it's nothing to do with it being Ireland. Well, perhaps it is. Perhaps it is. Yeah, dear. Oh. Got a fireball. No, still none the wiser, mate. And this is that drink that Mark likes. The old whiskey with the old cinnamon in it and all that, and it's a little bit hot. If Zach here, I know what you're talking about, but if it's not, I ain't got a clue. Scotsman, Irishman. Has to be drink, Eric. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh yeah, Fireball. The Fireball is the name of that stuff, mate, isn't it? Is the name of that that old whiskey. Is it whiskey or is it brandy? It's whiskey, isn't it? With the old cinnamon and spice in it. Ooh, lovely. Only trouble is now I'm trying to get a really good night's sleep on this health kick thing. It's you shouldn't really have coffee after 12, which I'm completely ignoring that one. And alcohol, well, you know, you're not going to get a really pack a night's sleep if you're going to be doing a wee dram before bed. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, sometimes I just think, oh, what the hell, I want to. My daughter's just been over to the Isle of Arran with my younger daughter Sarah, and yeah, they got engaged. He asked her to marry him, and she said, yeah. So that's good news. Oh dear. So that's all good. So that's 2 daughters I've nearly got off my hands. Not that I'm out, but they can come back and live here anytime they want. The only trouble is that when they are living here or have lived here after they've lived away at uni or whatever, I can't I can't sleep till they get in. And I've got 3 daughters to worry about now, but that's another story. Should we go into the pub? Yeah, why not? Why not? Ah, here we are again. Yeah, Isle of Arran. I absolutely loved it. It brought me back some sample bottles of the different some different brews of the old single malt whiskey. There's a 10-year-old one. It's absolutely lovely. I mean, the other 2 are nice as well. Don't get me wrong, but that one's here. I'm gonna have to order I think a whole big bottle of that. But I think it was pretty heavy on the price in the price department. So I was pleased to get some tasters as well as some lovely Arran chocolate, Arran oat cakes. They're not called Arran oat cakes. They're called something else, but they're Pucker oat cakes apparently. And yeah, and they saw some woolly coos while I was over there. Dear, Ferry leaves from my town. Oh, mate, okay, cool. Yeah, I said to them on the way, because up there they made it like a two kind of day trip. They went to Carlisle and then had a stop over there, and then went on up to the ferry and across. But coming back, they were doing it in one stint, and their ferry wasn't till like midday or 12:30. And I said, well, can't you get an earlier ferry back? If you're trying to get back to London in one go, you really don't want to be travelling for too long. Anyway, they managed to get a 11:30 ferry instead. Got there a little bit early, and then, but thankfully they were safe. They had a tyre blowout on the motorway. But thankfully, I decided to renew the AA cover. Which was a godsend. So the AA bloke, because I was on the motorway, it's kind of a priority. The guy was out there in about half an hour and put his van somewhere kind of blocking, because it's dangerous to even change a tyre on a motorway. So they got out and they were behind the barrier. The good old AA man came there, put the spare on. They managed to get to a place again a bit nearer to home, well, another half an hour nearer. They were still in Scotland technically, and get the tyre fixed, and they got back home here by about 11:15, which was great because that meant I could relax then and go to sleep. Oh dear, being a dad, man, it's hard. Oh, Eric, busy in here tonight. Oh, that's nice, mate, because I was just tired and thinking, oh man, I'm really not in the mood to do Ask the Plasterer this evening, because I could quite easily go to bed. But I knew I'd perk up a little bit, and having everybody here having a good old chat cheers me up no end. Cheers me up no end. So I'd hate to think I was boring. But I thought, yeah, no, can't let the side down. I'm gonna go and do Ask the Plasterer, even if there's only 1 or 2 people there tonight. And if there's only a couple of us, then we might not go on until 8:30. But I started a little bit late anyway, because I was in a, you know what, I'm going to be a bit late, but I don't care mood. Again, only probably because I was tired. But I'm enjoying myself now. I'm having a good old chat, even if I'm mostly talking about my kids and travelling to Scotland or Ireland or whatever. And I do again didn't get around to it this summer, but then I didn't even get around to going to my caravan in Chichester, which is only like about an hour's drive away, hour and a half. Of getting over to Ireland, I've never been to Ireland. I would love to go to Ireland. My missus has been on numerous occasions with her work and other stuff before I met her, and she said I'd love it, and I think she's absolutely right. And when I do go out there, I'm going to meet up with Mark and Colby and the boys, and yeah, it should be fun. How do most people price, please, by square metre, or does it depend on the job for you? Yep, a lot of the guys and girls can answer that one. I don't know if you've seen me, Tara, or the stuff I've posted on that one, is when I do quotes for anybody, if it's more than one room, if I'm doing a whole house, I do a separate quote for every room. I mean, it's fairly straightforward. Most of the rooms are the same. I do a quote for each room, and on the bottom of my quote it says the money is due on completion of this job, as in that room, and as soon as it doesn't say this bit on the bottom, but as soon as the money goes, I just explain to my customer, as soon as the money's gone in from that room, then you've transferred it into my account, I'll be cracking on with the next room. Even if the money hasn't gone in that night, I do start the next room the next day, but then I do check the bank account, and if the money's not going in, I'll send them a sweet reminder. But generally, because they want you to crack on with the next room, they put the money in your account, and you've been paid for that room, so you're covered and you're not going to lose out. And then I'll do that with each of the rooms, and it's worth that little bit of extra time it takes to just knock out a quote for each one. And as I said, because most rooms are very similar, the work that's going to be done in each one, the quotes aren't complicated to do more than just one big quote for a whole house or whatever, and that way you tend to not have any issues when it comes to if you do a whole house without any payment, and you spent a lot of money on materials and stuff, and then there's any issues with them paying you at the end, then yeah, that's not good. So that's what I've done for years now on domestic jobs, and it works really well for me. So I don't get any problems at all, unless I did one room and then people don't want to pay me. but that's rare, thankfully. What do you do, Danny? Usually priced by the job and how long it takes me on a good day rate, and had a couple of days on, as you just never know sometimes. Yeah, you do need to cover your old back a bit on that. Always allow extra time, and on the pricing as well. Again, sometimes I still kind of think, oh, is this particular price, even after all these years, a little bit high? And then if people don't get back to me like straight away, I think, the price was too high. And then they generally get back to me a week or two later and go, yeah, we're happy with that. Can you book us in? Dear, so that's just me chomping at the bit for people getting back to me, because a lot of people do get back to you fairly pronto. When they don't, I just assume something they've gone with someone else. But most of the time they haven't. They're just kind of like, they're still planning stuff, or they might be getting other prices in, and they're waiting on those before they go, blimey, that Eric's cheap. Yeah, quick, get back to him and say, oh, sorry for the delay, but just been sorting out a few bits and pieces. Dear. And one of my other customers, he said, yep, I definitely want you to do it. I'm just waiting on the window fitters to give me a date for when they're going to do the windows. But up until recently, people have been waiting ages to get their new windows put in. Delays galore. So I wasn't anticipating hearing back from him very soon. That we will see. Yeah, everyone usually gets back all at once when you've got loads on. Yeah, that's typical, mate. When you are busy is when everyone says, oh yeah, can you do it tomorrow, or can you do it next week, or it's Friday and they say, can you do it Monday? You go, no. Oh dear. And if you have been a bit quiet, as I've had, I do have just really strange periods where it goes quiet for me when I'm expecting to be really busy, and then I'm kind of thinking, well, why haven't they replied? I've got some time on my hands, people. Come on, if you want it done quickly, get hold of me now. And then they all get back to you at the same time, and then you kind of think, oh, who do I put first? But then that's not a problem. Oh dear, let's have another drop of Coca-Cola. So, yeah, have I missed anything? Yeah, this fireball stuff that Mark drinks is quite nice. I think he's regularly got a bottle of it in the old drinks cabinet, hasn't he, Mark? Oh dear. I mean, I don't drink spirit that often, but if I've got it, I can't help but drink it. So if I have, I can go for months without any kind of spirit or whatever, like be it a whiskey or brandy or whatever. And then birthday or Christmas, someone will buy me a bottle or a single malt or something, and I only drink it neat. I don't like watering the good stuff down, and I'll get through it within a couple of weeks. Then thankfully I don't rush out and buy another bottle because I need it. If you do, that's when you've got to be a bit careful and go, whoa, hang on a minute. But yeah, no, I'm more of a sociable drinker. I do like a beer. Again, if there's beer in the fridge, and instead of having a Coke or something, and I'll have something to eat, and I think, oh, I'll have a beer. I've got beer there, I'll have a beer. So I'm better off not having it in the fridge and just having a Coke instead. Tara, is any job too small for you guys? If a job is too small, Tara, for me, I tend to tell people, actually, when I'm looking at tomorrow, that actually it's going to cost more now because it's more complicated than I thought it was going to be. And a guy's fixings behind his radiators won't go because of all the old lime plaster and plaster lavs. Well, the plaster lavs are okay, but the plaster's knackered and you can't get a fixing. And basically on a job like that, I will actually say there's a minimum charge of 200 quid for me to do a job that's not going to take a day, because by the time you have tripped over there, possibly you've looked at it as well, and you've bought the gear and you maybe come home and gone back again to actually do the job, if you are looking at it not just from a picture, then yeah, it's costing you time and money. And if it's, it doesn't matter if it's only a half-day job or less. If you've got a minimum charge, then if people don't want to pay a reasonable amount for it, and you say my minimum charge for a small job that's not going to take a day is £200, including your material, and then if they're unlikely to take you on anyway, then they'll go, oh no, that's too much for me. But if they say, yeah, well, that's fine, then you know where you're at. You can possibly then pick up that job for get a couple of hundred quid for doing it, even though it's only going to take you a few hours to do. So that's what I do on small jobs. I say that it's going to cost you a minimum amount. That way you're not wasting your time or going and doing a job that ends up, as a lot of little jobs sometimes do, taking longer than you thought they were going to take. And you think, blimey, I need to hold the bloke, I'll do it for 50 quid. And by the time you've paid for some plaster, petrol, your time in picking plaster up, taking it to their place, going over there doing the job, you're not making any money, so you kind of think you're better off not doing it if it's that small and they're not happy to pay some kind of minimal amount. Again, it depends what kind of mood you're in when you do it, but there's been times where I say, 150 quid minimum, but if I think, this job's a little bit small and is it really worth it, and I'll say 200 quid, and if they go, yeah, I still want you to look at it, then Bob's your uncle. Danny, no, I prefer the small ones, to be fair. Tar, it's just a pain having to price them every night of the week. They don't last very long. That's true. Yeah, if you get longer jobs, I mean, a lot of my jobs are my longer jobs are if they're a week or two. Most of my jobs are 1 dayers, 2-3 days, depending on the size of the job, obviously. But yeah, it's just doing all the quotes and stuff. It's nice to be on one job, but you don't particularly want to be on one job that takes too long if you do have a normal regular stream of customers ringing you, because well, I suppose if they know you've worked from before, and they specifically want you to do it, they're more than happy to wait 9 times out of 10. But if it's new custom coming in and you got to say, I'm on the job for the next couple of months, they're kind of like, oh, okay, mate, I'll get back to you if I can't find someone else to do it sooner. Which, if they can't, it's great. But hey, Martin, I tried Bondit Yellow Pre-Grit this week. Oh, so much better to apply than Blue Grit. Work to treat. 15 quid at Selcos. Yeah, again, mate, if it's better than the blue stuff, that's great. As I say, I don't tend to use any of the grits. A lot of guys have had. Some guys have seen it take. Some of the grits take quite a long time to go off. A few guys have had drop downs. I know you can get a drop down with on ceiling with PVA as well, but they've had drop downs using the grits. So I kind of think, you know what, I haven't ever used them, so I'm not going to start now. But if you like that, mate, and it's working, and the yellow one is better than the blue one, then yeah, good on you, mate. Stick with the yellow one. Don't get the blue one. What the difference is, other than the colouring they put in it, though, I don't know. But it depends on the company that's making it, I suppose. At the end of the day, Jamie, do the small job, and you are there. Then their plasterer might need to a bigger one, or they might pass your number on. That is true. What Jamie says there, Tara. Yeah, you can take them once you do. If you do a plastering job for someone, even if it's small, if they like it, they like you, then basically you are their plasterer. Because next time they want plastering done, they think, oh, we'll get so and so, we'll get Tara to do it. Because she's worked for us before. I'm happy with her work. I like her, so we'll get her to do that. What we've got to be careful of is people that go, oh, I've got a little job, and I want you to do it for next to nothing, but I've got loads of other work coming up in the future that that I'll give to you if I'm happy with what you do on this one. Those ones you want to avoid, because generally that's bullshit. Not always, but never do it. Never promise anyone a cheaper job, because they're offering you lots more if you do this one. But if you do a small job just off the back of itself, and as I say, when the people are happy, then when they've got a bigger job, if they get a bigger job in the future, they're more likely to ring you and ask you to do it, rather than bring someone in they've never met before or seen any of their plastering. That's why it's good to get little videos up and get them out there, so at least people can have a look at you working, PVA all the way for me, or a nice strong slurry coat if I'm sanding cement. That's it, Danny. PVA, neat PVA till I die. I'm hoping that's going to be a while yet, but yeah, whatever. It's worked for all these years for the old man, so why would I change? Mind you, that's getting so blooming expensive now. It might be slightly cheaper to buy blue grit or yellow grit than the PVA. Though someone did mention, again, I don't know who, on one of the forums, that when I say one of the forums, I obviously mean my Discord forum or Trow Talk. I'm not talking about the others. Mentioned that, or on here, that they got some PVA for about £8 now for 5 litres, which was cheaper than I was getting it for a little while back, because even the old B&Q stuff's like 12-14 quid for 5 litres, and I'm thinking, no, that's getting a bit silly on top of your £9.50, 10 quid for a bag of finish. So yeah. Not heard from Melanie for a while. You alright, Mel? How's the knee holding up there? I'd like to know. And Steph was in a pub somewhere, I don't think nowhere near work, or nowhere near home rather, and she said she was no, I think they like to watch some football and that in there, watch a match, and she started chatting to some guy and had a good old talk, and it turned out that it was his. I'm gonna get it wrong now. She was a bridesmaid at either his mate's wedding or his son's wedding or someone's wedding. So it turns out that they didn't know it, but they'd met each other before at a wedding that they were both like guests of, and just met him out of the blue in somewhere nowhere near home, as far as I can recall. Magnets, mate, £9.80 for PVA, cheapest I can find right now. Magnets? What's magnets? Or who's magnets? Only magnets I can think of is the magnets that used to do windows and doors and stuff. Oh, also, Mark, if you're still there, that hall stairs and landing I'm doing, or cupboard stairs and cupboard I'm doing on Wednesday. It's got one of those handrails with all the circular attachments with 3 screws in each one. And I did put on the quote, I'll be using like the special dots that show where the screw hole is, so you can stick your banister back on, because I'm definitely not working around it. I'm definitely not working around the screws, so that'll be coming off. And obviously allow for a packet of those in the price, because I can't remember, because I haven't used that many, and I bought a big watch of them a while back. They are quite expensive, even though they're great. So you've got to allow for those if you're using those on a job where you're going to use a whole packet of them. Anthony, yay, hello mate. Strength to strength, man. Over 3,000 subs and doing amazing, because he's such a hard worker and such a lovely guy. Nice to see you, mate. Hi Eric, I'll have to catch up tomorrow. Not far off 2k now. Oh mate, yeah mate, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's because I don't put the content out, mate. People always ask me to put more videos out, and I go, oh yeah. And even the last one I did, it was okay, man. Thinking, oh bloody hell, I've got to set my camera up, get the dust off it, and do another video. And then the subscribers start clicking up again. So yeah, if I put a few more out there, mate, I'm pretty sure it'll soon click that 2,000 subscribers mark. Oh, geez, nice to see you tonight, mate. Thanks for having a quick tune in. Silver, 8x4 plasterballs going through roof now over the £10 mark. Oh yeah, no, fair enough, mate. I mean, I only use those if they're on a job where you have to use them that big, and they're being delivered, and I haven't got to get them up any stairs. But generally, for most of my domestics, silver, I'm just sticking with the 6x3s, you know, money, 6 foot by 3 foot. I don't even think what that is in metric. I don't care. But yeah, they're coming in at quite a lot of money as well. They're not pushing a well, they are kind of pushing a tenner, but not a tenner, but over a tenner for 8x4s. But yeah, and of course different thicknesses, mate. You want the thicker stuff or something with insulation on the back, and this yeah, arm and a leg. You just got to make sure you price these things up well proper before you like put your final price in for a job, if you're including material in your price. And remember all the carting about that you're doing, and if you're picking up stuff the day before, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, if you're picking stuff up the day before to take on a customer's job, that's your time that you're using. And I've done that. I think, oh, I've got this job on tomorrow, I'm going to go empty out my van, go to B&Q's tonight, pick up the plaster I need for tomorrow so I can crack on at 8. Whereas I suppose you should really get there at 8 and then go, right, I'm here, here's all my tools, we've started, I'm off now to pick up your plaster, because yeah, because you need to be obviously paying me for going to do that as well. When I pick it up the night before, I'm not taking into account that I'm using up my time, my petrol and my motor and my muscle to go and get your stuff the night before, so I can crack on nice and early and get your job done, so you can crack on with your decorating. You don't want me being there longer than I have to be. So yeah, so remember to allow for all that malarkey. Danny, they do loads of stuff plastering related too. This is magnets, yeah, and are the cheapest I can find. Only around £8.40 for multi too. No, fair enough, mate. Yeah, that's it's in the kind of prices. Everything seems to be going up. Question is the once things kind of like settle down, if they settle down. Now we've got a new Prime Minister. Oh, God help us. Will the prices come down again, or will they just stay up? Will they drop them 10 pence and then go, right, that's as low as they're going now, we'll just keep them at that, or we'll just keep pushing them up? But we will see. We will see. They can't you know, well, they can, but you've got to put that price forward. And as Steph has said, you've got to let the customer know how much material has gone up if a price goes up on the job. That is Magnet, the kitchen place. I didn't even know if they... No, I thought they went out of business or were bought by somebody else, unless they just stopped doing business in London, or whether I've just not had my eyes open, mate, which is a possibility. Dear. I mean, being a typical geezer, no matter how well I know even my own house, and luckily my carpet's plain, but if it had a pattern on it, you would think, what kind of pattern you got on your carpet? I'd probably go, hang on, I'll go downstairs and have a look. Oh dear. Yeah, it's probably an age thing, and being a geezer and being old. How are we doing for time? 17 minutes past 8. Yep, I'm gonna go off at 8:30 and have a shower. Oh, if I'm honest, my little paddly pool out the back. Well, I've been putting chlorine in it to stop it going horrible, and it does work. It's amazing. Don't just pour bleach in it though. If you ever do that, you buy the proper granules for like pools and stuff, and you just stick a few teaspoons in and then check it to make sure it's all right. And I've been going for a splosh in that, and then if I've just had a shower, I'll have a splosh in that and then go to bed. If I haven't had a shower, I'll have a splosh in that. Only quickly get out, jump in the shower, have a nice shower, have something to eat, and then go to bed. It's like having a swimming pool, except you can't do any lengths when your hands and your feet are already touching both ends. But hey, it's a bit of fun. But I don't suppose I can keep it out much longer because the poor old grass underneath it must be as dead as the doornail by now. Now the rest is starting to go green again. Anyway, I digress. Danny, hopefully they drop them by 20%. Can't see it though. Probably will keep banging it up. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised, mate. Still going, mate. Only round the corner from me to old Magnet. Get down there and save yourself some money. I should have a look. I should have a look for my nearest magnets, mate, and yeah, get in there. Or they do accounts. Might have an account as well. Mind you, I've got accounts with like Travis and Juicens and all that, but I never tend to use them. And sometimes I went to Travis for some bolts the other day when I was doing that work, like rigging up a rack in a gym. It wasn't my gym, it was part of a gym where the missus worked, and they're paying me to put these racks up, and there's some more to go up in a different part of that gym, and bought some bolts in there, and they were cheaper to buy in B&Q, which surprised me. They were to get in Travis, but there you go. You really got to keep your eyes open on what's selling what, where, for how much. You know, you buy one thing cheap in a place and you think, oh, this is cheap, and you buy everything in there and you think, oh, hang on a minute, how much was that plaster, or how much were those bolts, or whatever. But yeah, but I will do that, Danny. Cheers, mate. Has the beer song came on in the background yet? Because I don't have the sound on it because it interferes with feedback. And then I put the old video up and it'll go, oh, you have a copyright claim on your video. Beer, bloody beer. There we go. I must take that song off. Yeah, I only got a cash account though. Don't bother with credit. Oh no, don't bother with credit on accounts is like, yeah, it's not a great idea. It's not a great idea. It seemed quite good at the time. I had them years ago. And it's fun when you're just ordering stuff and thinking, oh yeah, just shove it on the account, and then in the end of the month comes you think, oh, I've got to well, I send you a reminder, don't worry about that. Got to pay that month's that account off, which is fine if you've been really busy and the money's there in the bank and you can pay the account, but I'd like to have the account, but I go in there, you know, I just pay cash for my stuff, or you know, I'm using my debit card, whatever, but I don't I don't have a credit account, or if I do, I don't use it, is what I mean to say, because I've got a credit account with Howdens. You know, I can spend up to 10 grand on kitchens and bits and pieces, or thereabouts, but I don't want to do that. Well, unless someone's paying me 20 grand for a kitchen, then I'll get it on credit and pay it straight off. What's the time? How are we doing for time, boys and girls? 20 past 8. Well, that last few minutes went slow. not that I want to go and have me dinner and a shower and stuff. Can't be bothered to splosh in the pool, because before I do that, I've got a little hoover for the bottom and a net to get all the amount of dead flies and bitchy things you go into even a paddly pool. It's not quite incredible, and I don't like those things, so I like to get all those out before I have a quick splosh. Though if it's dark you can't see them, so. But I think I'll just have a common, or just have a normal shower tonight, and And yeah, get my old blue light glasses on that stop the, well, I meant to stop blue light from your computers and your lights and your phones and all that, that stop you feeling sleepy when you should be getting tired. If you're going to be going to bed early, you're meant to be winding down about 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, or maybe even half 7. I think I'll get a little reminder on my app. It goes, yeah, if you want a good night's sleep tonight, boy, and you're going to bed between 9:30 and 10:30, and you should start winding down now. So, you know, make sure the lights are a bit dim, and yeah, don't be like, you know, spotlights full on, and your phone as bright as anything in your face. Otherwise you won't feel sleepy. It does work. It does work. That's the only trouble is I'm starting to get tired about 9:30. Which yeah, no, and this, no, I'm going to keep it up and see if I can hone it for my energy levels during the day. Definitely feel like bright. My thinking is, you wouldn't know it now to listen to me, but my thinking is sharper during the day. And in the morning when I wake up, I do feel a bit more, oh, you know what, yeah, let's get up and get on, rather than, oh man, is that the alarm? Oh no, I don't want to go to work. Not another Artex evening. Yeah. Right, is there anything else I was going to mention that I've forgotten? Probably not. We will at some time, as and when the time is good, to get more of an update on Louis. But we wish him all the best, and that he just progresses physically and mentally, because all this kind of stuff is a mental strain on you. For anybody out there that's having a bit of a tough time, hang on in there, and yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night for this evening. I thought a quick one of going is good. I'm nice and busy, and yeah, and I will look forward to either chatting with you on the forums or on Troutle. Yeah, it's bedtime, mate. Not far off. If I finish this too late, it's kind of like, oh quick, I finished that, oh quick, I need to get to bed. Whereas I like a bit of chill out time before bed. Dear. Yeah, have something to eat, and then kind of like, right, yeah, get yourself in the zone, have a look at your little app that goes, would you like to listen to some relaxing, sleepy thunderstorm and little story, little bedtime story? And I go, oh yes please. Let's get to bed and do that. Cheers Mark, cheers Jamie, cheers Tara, cheers everybody that's come along tonight. Cheers Anthony. Where's my list? I don't want to miss anybody out this evening. Martin, thanks Martin. Oh, Danny, Plaster 8 Silver. Yep, and anyone else who knows me, thanks for coming along, guys. It's been lovely. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, considering I felt like shit. Excuse my friends. But I feel good now. I'm going to go to bed with a little peace and love in my heart for doing After Plasterer this evening. Oh, God help. Cheers, mate. God help any of the new people that might have tuned in tonight and gone, oh, yeah, it's a bit of a miserable git. Don't know if I'll watch that again. Oh God, don't forget to like before you log off. Alright, cheers people, I love you lots. I'm going to again search for me fade out button so I can fade into the distance. Right, have a lovely evening guys. Don't go to bed too late, it's not good for you. And I'll speak to you all very soon. Here we go, I think this is it. See you later, bye.